أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah jamiyan, and thank you for joining us for this last session of Ali 638. As you know that each of the level has 7 sessions. So this is the last session of the 4th level, level 4. So that means we are going to complete inshallah 28 sessions at the end of this class, inshallah. And then we'll have the next course beginning on 1st of November, inshallah, on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Many of you say that you can make it on Tuesdays. We moved to Tuesday because there were 2 sisters, Huda and I think Sana. They could only make on Tuesdays and not Wednesdays. So inshallah, hopefully see you, registering for the next level. Okay. Today I will slightly change the dua. We might have used this dua earlier, but it's a beautiful dua. So I thought it's worth repeating again. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma waffiqna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين أبدا اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصل على محمد وآله الطاهرين. It's a beautiful dua. You can see number of things have been included there. First is, of course, now we say, Allahumma fikna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. Oh Allah, just grant us the success, tawfiq in thinking, saying, and doing that which you love and you are pleased with. So it's so important, right? That is exactly what, as Muslims, as students, as participants in such a course of Quran, our aim is to do that or say or think things which would Allah loves, and also Allah would be pleased with it. So it's a beautiful sentence. Try to actually memorize it. You can also recite in your kunut. Allahumma fikna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. Wala takilna ila anfusina tarfat ayn abada. And never leave us to ourselves for the blink of an eye. Because when we leave to ourselves, that we will make sometimes wrong judgment, or shaitan will make us do wrong things. So we hope that Allah will make us will always be there to aid us. So Allah takilna. In fact, this is wala takilni ila nafsi tarfat ayn abadan. This is Prophet's dua. What we have done is that we have just changed into plural form. Wala takilna ila anfusina tarfat aynin abadan. Do not just never leave us to ourselves, never leave to ourselves for the blink of an eye, even for the blink of an eye, because we can make a lot of mistakes in our judgment. And then, of course, what follows is known as dua mutaliya. That means before you're reading, recite this dua. Allahumma akhrijna min dhulumatil wahm wa akrimna bi nuril fahm. Allahumma aftih alayna abwaaba rahmatik wa anshur alayna khaza'ina ulumik rahmatik ya arhamar rahimin. Right? Allah, remove from us the darkness of doubt and error and fill us with the light of understanding. O Allah, open for us the doors of your mercy and unfold for us the treasures of your knowledge. Allah bless Muhammad and his family. So hopefully, that you will try to remember these du'as and also recite sometime. By all means, these slides are there. If some of you need this in a word format, let me know. I can even email you. Okay. So this is our last session, and just now, for example, the past 4 levels, including today, will be across this Ali 607, 620, 635, 638. What we will do, inshallah, we'll try to ask the webmaster to combine all these 27 or 28 lesson sessions in a one place only. So you don't have to go to different places. Under Quranic Arabic, inshallah, I'll try to do that. Give us some time, but that's my plan, that I will tell the webmaster to combine the slides and the recordings of all these 4 levels and 28 sessions under just one link. So inshallah, that way it becomes easier. Yeah. As you know that next level, inshallah, we're going to start on first on Tuesday. So please try to get your homework earlier, because now if you send it on Tuesday, it'll be too late. So try to make it earlier, not by Monday, but that be possible by Tuesday, Sunday, inshallah. Let's go to what we were discussing this thing last week and we could not complete. So let us see. In the sentence, Allah created, it's accusative of the object of verbs. No, the object of verbs are accusative on account of different reasons. So if you can understand those reasons, fine. Otherwise, just being the object of the verb itself is fine. Now, the fact that it's the object of the verb, it is going to be maf'ul and it's going to be in accusative form. That means it will fatah, right? So we had looked at number of what ayat here. No, direct object, no, and also absolute object. So let us, for example, look at absolute object, because there was also a question, right? So maf'ul mutlaq, some of you got it correctly. So we look at 84.8. If you have the Quran in front of you, just open the Quran, 84.8. Did we look at it last week? So otherwise. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله فسوف يحاسبه حسابا يسيرا. Yeah, we looked at this, right? We say أما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه, as for the one who is given his record in his right hand, right? فسوف يحاسبه حسابا يسيرا. He will receive an easy reckoning. يحاسبه is a verb which is passive. We'll come to it later, inshallah. حسابا يسيرا, an easy reckoning, no? حسابا يسيرا. So just because you get in the right. We look at 89.20, right? Just after Surah 89.20, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It says, وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا, right? And love wealth with much fondness. Because human being, unfortunately, you can see Allah says, you eat your inheritance rapaciously, right? And then and love wealth with much fondness. Unfortunately, human being is very much attached to the wealth and it loves with much fondness. You'll find very few people who are disinterested about wealth and about money and everything. They'll say, okay, this is required just because it's a need, otherwise they don't have any kind of attachment. But of course, Allah says that most of them, you can see that they love the wealth with much fondness. It's not وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. They just love it and with fondness, something which they really. So this is human shortcoming. But here it is what حُبًّا جَمًّا is maf'ul mutlaq, which is an absolute object. And you can see that it describes. One is love, and then also with fondness. What kind of? So we had discussed this thing. Then maf'ulun fi, right? It is on account of what object of time and place. Some of you also answered it correctly, right? We are going over these examples. You can see a word which has some element of time is put in the accusative to express as adverb of time, right? So it's adverb of time. That means, and this is the definition. So look at, for example, I think we looked at all of them. Let's just look at 76.26, right? 76.26. If you look at it, 76.26. Bismillah ar-Rahman. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ وَسَبِّحُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا, right? Subhanallah, namaz al-shab is, although not wajib, but has been emphasized number of times in the Quran. One of the verses is this. They say, وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ, and worship him for a watch of the night. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ وَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا, and glorify him the night long, for a long time. In other words, just don't get over it. Spend time in ibadat. You see the awliya of Allah, those who are close with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much they used to worship Allah, right? Somebody went to Muawiyah he was amongst the friends of Imam Ali. So Muawiyah said, no, Sifli Ali, no, just tell me how Ali was. First of all, he refuses, I don't want to do that. But he insisted, Muawiyah insisted that tell me, no. So then he says that no, when he comes to Imam Ali, I've seen him at night. He'll be in the mihrab, just reciting dua and sajda, and he'll be crying as if he has been bitten by a scorpion. And so you can see how Imam Ali Islam, although being a masoom and spending the entire life in serving Islam, in defending Islam, right? Even then, realizing that no, when you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how you do it. So this is it that no, he says that no, وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ وَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا, and glorify Allah the night long. We have those of you who know, we have we have an app. Whether you go to iPhone or Android, we have an app known as Tahajjud Salat. If you can download the Tahajjud Salat app, you can see those beautiful du'as to be recited in Namaz al-Shab. So if you recite those du'as understandingly, I have confidence, inshallah, it will make you cry. Yes, Sister Saima?
Assalamu alaikum. The app is very helpful. It's very good. And I was just wondering, in the beginning, it used to play the du'as out loud, the audio, but for some reason it stopped playing the audio. And I tried deleting it and installing it, but still the audio is silent.
No, I don't know. You can just send the emails. We'll try to send it to the designer, because we have given them all the requirements. We also settled the bill. So there may be some kind of bug or anything. So whatever problem you are finding, if you can email us, and then inshallah we'll forward it to the person who is understand. So yeah, this you can see the beautiful du'as there, which will make you, as Allah says, no, laylan tawila, at night and then for long. You can see, just glorify Allah at night and then for long. There are beautiful tasbih to be done, right? You do in namaz witr, the tasbih after every 2 rakat is mustaqbil tasbih zahra. So you can see Allah says that not glorify Him, no, for a long night long. But this is what we are coming to, maf'ul mutlaq. No, it is something which is maf'ul mutlaq. We go to next, object for time and place, maf'ulun fi, right? Again, there are many examples there. A word which, yeah, we were talking about this. This is what I'm up, yeah. And then next is object for expressing aim, cause or motive or purpose, maf'ulun lahu. We couldn't come to here, so let's look at it. No, so we start with 2109. I'm glad that some of you are using this app. It's good now. Please talk to people that are not aware. I was just now in England, had to go visit for a funeral. And I was surprised that my host had no idea that such an app existed. Okay, so 2109. Bismillah. وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا حَسَدًا مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِهِمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الْحَقُّ فَاعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا فَاتَّقُوا. So you can see that it says here some kind of what aim or object or for example objective or cause. No, so you can see it says وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّونَكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا. Many of the people in the book are eager to turn you into unbelievers after your faith, right? So you can see their aim, their motive is to just turn you as a disbeliever. So لَوْ يُرَدُّكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا. So this kuffara, you can see it is an accusative form, and the reason is it is object, but object is known as object maf'ulun lahu. That means it's expressing the aim or the cause. So their aim is to make out of their inner envy. So you can see that sometimes they are so much envious that they would not like you to be even a believer. They would rather make you to even be a kafir. So this was their kind of envy against Islam. Imagine, the Prophet had a lot of challenges, right? We look at another example. So that was, but that was to 109. let's go to 207. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد, right? So من الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله. So you can see here the seeking pleasure of Allah. ابتغاء مرضات الله. Of course, مرضات الله, مرضات here is accusative, but because it is what feminine, that's how it is مرضات الله. Yes, Sister Saima? Sister Samina?
This is the last one. Which one is the object?
Here, yeah.
Which one is the object in the last one?
Kufran.
Kufran. Okay, thank you.
You come into this 208, you can see here it is Yashri nafsu ibtigha mardatillah. Among the people is he who sells his soul. Of course, this is referring to Imam Ali al-Islam, his soul, seeking the pleasure of Allah. Yashri nafsu ibtigha mardatillah. So mardatillah is accusative, but because it is what feminine, earlier we done, this is how it appears, no, as accusative. We go to next example, 438. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Right? وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ وَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَلَا بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ مَنْ يَكُنِ الشَّيْطَانُ لَهُ قَرِينًا فَسَاءَ قَرِينًا. So you can see وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ. So رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ, you can see it is رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ is object which is giving us cause, right? It says that وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, there are people who spend their wealth just to show رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ. So here رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ is an object which is مَفْعُولٌ لَهُ, giving us objective or the purpose. Their purpose of spending was just to show. So you can see Allah says وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ. Amwalhum already is an object, direct object, right? Yunfikun amwalhum. You can see amwalhum. So amwal has an objective, but riya an-nasi. Riya an-nasi here is that why they are spending. They're spending already is object, is a maf'ul. But why they are spending? Just to show off. Riya an-nasi. وَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَلَا بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. These people do not believe in Allah nor in the hereafter, right? وَمَنْ يَكُنِ الشَّيْطَانُ لَهُ قَرِينًا فَسَاءَ قَرِينًا. And for him, who is shaitan, for his companion, how evil is the companion. So it's very important that when we spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, try to keep an intention of always doing for the sake of Allah. As much as secretly as you can, as much as not telling anybody that you are doing this work. Because you can see here how Allah says, that there are people who just do for the sake of showing off, and these are the companions of shaitan. And what a kind of companion it is. Shaitan would like you to always, announce that you are the contributor. Don't do that. No, let us do for the sake of Allah. Here there is.
Which word is so? That would it be riya or riya and nas?
Riya and nas.
But then the nas has a kasra on the bottom, not a fatha.
No, riya has fatha. Riya and nas, you can see, right? وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِيَاءَ النَّاسِ. Do you see fatha on Hamza? Riya and nasi.
Yeah, for riya I see the fatha, but for nas there's a kasra after seen.
Because of that is genitive. That's what we done earlier. That's a possessive phrase.
Okay.
No, showing off for the people. No, so riya and nasi is mudaf ilayh. You've done this earlier, right?
Yes.
Mudaf. So that is it. But just you can see that this shows the cause, the motive, purpose of what they are doing. Okay. So because of that, it becomes what accusative. You go to 1090. Okay, so you look at 1090.
It's 296 page.
So now, right? وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتبعهم فرعون وجنوده بغيا وعدلا, right? So you can see we carried children of Israel across the sea when Pharaoh and his troops pursued them. Well, why did they pursue them? You can see out of defiance and aggression. Baghyan, no, Adwa, right? So Pharaoh and his people pursued Banu Israel, right? So as out of defiance and aggression. So Baghyan wa Adwan. So this Baghyan wa Adwan is accusative on account of maf'ulun lahu, because we know that their aim was to just pursue them for this reason. So because it talks about the aim, you can see it is in accusative form, baghyan wa adwan. So these are some of the examples which gives the idea that maf'ulun fi, maf'ulun lahu. Of course, as I said,
both words are objects, right? Bagwan and Adwan.
yes, yeah. These are we are talking of object of expressing aim or cause. Okay, these are accusative. You can see baghyan or adwan. These are accusative because they are object of expressing aim or cause. Okay, so why did they follow? This is the so this is why what it is accusative. And then of course there are also example. Maybe we can look at the last example, 1428. See if it's also something similar, clear. So 1428. Bismillah. ألم تر إلى الذين بدلوا نعمة الله كفرا وحلوا قومهم دار البوار, right? Have you not regarded those who have changed Allah's blessing with ingratitude? So you can see their aim was to just change the blessing of Allah with kufr, right? So have you not regarded? No. ألم تر إلى الذين بدلوا نعمة الله كفرا, right? So they have no وحلوا قومهم دار البوار and landed the people in the house of ruin because of that. No. So when the name of Allah is, how do we change into kufr? Whenever, for example, Allah gives me ni'mat, and if I waste it, right, I don't use it in the same way, or I use it for a wrong purpose. So the name of Allah, I'm changing into kufr. Instead of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm doing things exactly opposite that. No? So you can see this was an aim, and it is accusative. Ni'matullahi kufra. Here kufr is not disbelief, here kufr is ingratitude. No. Inna hadinahu sabila imma shakura imma kafur, right? For example, Allah says somewhere in Quran, Inna hadinahu sabila. We have guided them towards the path. Imma shakura imma kafura. Some of them are grateful and some of them are ungrateful. So here kafur is not just kufra is not disbelief, but ungrateful, being ungrateful. You can see. So these are objects of expressing either aim or cause or motive or purpose, and they become accusative. The next one is Sister Samina's still a question?
No, sorry.
Oh, that's right. Okay. The next one is maf'ulun ma'ahu. I couldn't get much examples. Also, I could not find the similar things in other textbooks. I referred to 2-3 textbooks. So we will just confine to these 2 examples given by our author, and just suffice with that, because I could not find with all other this example. You can see there are so many examples because I would look at our book, textbook, and also other textbooks. Okay, but for this particular thing, I could not. So maybe it's like isolated cases, you think, but just that means there is wow, which which denotes as if with. The purpose of that is like maf'ul ma'u. That means it denotes as a with. So let us look at 1071 and see if you can get that. But if this particular thing, if you cannot understand, I would understand. I understand because it is something which is not common. I could not even find in so many other textbooks. I've got, at least I refer to 3 textbooks when I prepare the classes. So here, Bismillah, right? Says 1071. وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ نُوحٍ إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ إِنْ كَانَ كَبُرَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَقَامِي وَتَذْكِيرِي بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَعَلَى اللَّهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ فَأَجْمِعُوا أَمْرَكُمْ وَشُرَكَاءَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُنْ أَمْرُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ غُمَّةً ثُمَّ اقْضُوا إِلَيَّ وَلَا تُنْظِرُونَ. فَأَجْمِعُوا أَمْرَكُمْ وَشُرَكَاءَكُم, right? فَأَجْمِعُوا أَمْرَكُمْ وَشُرَكَاءَكُم. So here, so conspire together along with your partners. You can see that with, do you see that? No, so فَأَجْمِعُوا أَمْرَكُمْ وَشُرَكَاءَكُم. So conspire together along with your partner. So here wow plays the role of ma'a, that means with. Do you see? فَأَجْمِعُوا أَمْرَكُمْ وَشُرَكَاءَكُم, with your partners and with your partners. So because of that, it is maf'ul. But I would just now say that no, you just confined to conjugation. You can just say shuraka'akum, conspire together, no, amrakum, your affairs, or shuraka'akum, along with your partners. Conspire together. Amrakum, conspire together. No, you can just say wow of conjugation. But actually here, shuraka'akum is on account of maf'ulun ma'a. So it is a very rare cases, and I could not find other examples other than this. Now, so this is 1077, 1071, and then of course a very famous ayat which often you will find what ulama quoting this ayat 66.
Sorry, before you go ahead, so which one are the objects in this case?
Shuraka'akum.
Without the kum, right? Without the kum.
With your partners, no? Along with your partners. The shuraka'akum here is object of what with. We go to 66.6. 66.6 is a very popular ayat. You often find what scholars invoking it in their majlis. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum an-nara. Right? وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ غِلَاظٌ شِدَادٌ لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُمْ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. Right? So if you look at our textbook, because that is what they have quoted. So if you look at our textbook, you know, okay, so here we are on so here they give the examples. This is maf'ulun lahu. So maf'ulun ma'ahu. Now you can see ku anfusakum wa ahlikum nar. So it is on page 79 of our textbook. Ku anfusakum wa ahlikum nar. Save yourselves and your families from a fire. So here, anfusakum wa ahlikum, this is they consider as what this is an object which is along with. That means save yourself along with your with your family. So this along with your family wa ahlikum, that is maf'ulun lahu ma'ahu. As I said that I could not find this in other textbooks, so these are two only examples. But this ayat particularly, I would like you to just pay attention. This is the ayat which is very important, those of us who raise our children. No, I'm sure here, of course, we have people now who are already, like myself, you have got grandchildren now, or children are already grown up, but those who have got young children, this is an ayat, you have to be careful. Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara, right? Save yourself along with your family members from the fires, right? Save yourself and the family members, right? Whose fuel will be people and stones. The fire is fuel is people and stones. So you can imagine that means it is such a severe fire that when stones are there as a fuel and people, that means the more people come, it's going to increase the fire. عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ غِلَاظٌ شِدَادٌ, or which are assigned severe and mighty angels, right? لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُم. They do not disobey whatever Allah commands them. وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ, and they do whatever they are commanded. In other words, they will punish us without any kind of mercy, because that is what they have been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a very ayat which is good, but of course, as I said, that no, we don't have an example other than these two, so we'll just confine that. And these are the nouns. When we say, for example, here about time, number 3, or this number 3, this particular these are the nouns, right, of time and place. Laylan, Naharan, Yawman, Masa'an. Laylan is night, Naharan is daytime, Yawman for the day, Masa'an in the evening, Masa'an, Ghadan, tomorrow, Fawqa, Tahta, Indi, Lada, Ima. These are indications that, for example, where the things are. So this will give you the object of time and place. Okay. So this is, we couldn't complete last week. I wanted to complete. Any questions before we go to the next slide? This is, of course, it's just the homework. We had already done it. So this was covered earlier. No. Okay, so this is the question and answer homework, which many of you, in fact, those who submitted the homework, I think this time only 5 or 6 people did it. But in any case, all of you who did this was correct. But let me just discuss a few things, because I think some of the things were missed out. So we looked at verses 248, 123 to 81. All are these in Surah Al-Baqarah, right? So let us please open the Quran, because I think we are missing out some of the most important questions we were trying to aim. We were trying to, the object of this question was sometimes someone missed out. No? So Bismillah, Allah's Wattaqu yawman. First of all, beware of the day. Wattaqu yawman. This is a direct object. No. Yawman is a direct object of taqwa. Wattaqu yawman. La tajzi nafsun an nafsihi shay'an. Wala yuqbalu minha shafa'atun. Wala yukhatu minha adlun. Wala hum yunsarun. Right? So this yawman, you can see, beware of the day, right? This is the day of judgment. Some of you say the day we meet Allah. That's fine, correct, that's okay. But no, meeting of Allah can also be at the time of death, because sometimes, death is considered as lika Allah, meeting Allah. But it's better to say day of judgment instead of day of meeting Allah, the day of judgment. Wattaqu yawman, Allah says, fear the day, right? La tajzi nafsun an nafsin shay'an. No person or no soul will compensate for another, right? In other words, nobody will be of help to you. Your efforts will not help others, and others' efforts will not help you. So, la tajzi nafsun an nafsin shay'an. Shay'an, that means not even to an extent, right? Even small extent. Wala yuqbalu minha shafa'atun. And nobody is going to intercede on your behalf, right? It says, وَلَا يُخَذُ مِنْهُ عَدْلٌ. No, any ransom shall be received from it. For example, you cannot give money or something. So, okay, now we'll just charge you some money and you'll be freed. No, that will not be right, to say. And then says, وَلَا هُمْ يُنْصَرُونَ, nor will they be helped. So this is the day of judgment. And when we said, why do we fear this thing? Because the reasons are given there only. The reasons are given there, for example. One is there is no intercession, there is no support from the fellow people. Nobody can come to your aid, nor will you buy off, for example, your ransom. Sometimes you buy your freedom, right? For example, if somebody is in a prison, then you say, okay, I'm going to pay a certain fine and just free myself. So those things will not be accepted. That is why when we said fear, we fear because of that. So the reasons you've been given. And then if you go to verse 123, almost it is ditto, almost the same thing. And the fact that Allah repeats himself, because this is something which is sure. We should not be, again says, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا, beware of the day. لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. You can see, when no soul shall compensate for another. وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ, neither will any ransom be accepted. وَلَا تَنْفَعُهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ, nor will the intercession benefit. That means when somebody trying to intercede on your behalf, interfere on your behalf, or for example, plead on your behalf, will not be accepted. No. And it says, Kullahum yunsurun. So it's almost similar, slightly just there's change, but you can see the context is same. So we fear on account of this thing. There's no support from others. Intercession is not there. No compensation taken, and will not be, and will be returned to Allah. Right? And then of course the next ayat, which is 281, whereby we are told, right, that it is a day when we are going to return to Allah. Yes. So of course. So here it says why, which kind of day. But again, it is also the day of judgment when we shall return to Allah. That means return to Allah for accounting, right? So here, Bismillah ar-Rahman. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. The day when you should be brought back to Allah. ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ. Then every soul shall be recompensated fully. Do you see? So this is why, although the first part says that the day you are going to return to Allah, but when it is every soul shall be recompensed fully, that means it's the day of judgment for what it has earned, and they will not be wrong. وَلَا هُمْ يُظْلَمُونَ. So again, it's the day of judgment, whereby there will be compensation for our actions, and every good we have done, we will be rewarded. Right? There will not be any kind of zulm. So this is the day of judgment. Again, we say that no, we fear it because there is no support from others, there is no intercession, no compensation taken from us, right? And we will be returned to Allah, right? On that. Of course, why is the word yawm in accusative? Because it is object of time, right? We said earlier, object of time, yawman, so these are object of time. Okay, many of you got them correctly, but I wanted you to get the reasons exactly from the verses. Of course, if you look at into the tafsir of these verses, then you'll come across even more reasons, right? But just from the verses. The second one, right, which many of you got it correctly, but still, because these verses we listen all the time, I would expect it that all of you come with real good reasons, right? And because these are the verses which are invoked and used and quoted by scholars again and again. No? So let us look at it now. So Surah Al-Ahzab, which is Surah number 33, ayat number 33, right? Thereby, of course, this is of course what we were planning, or what we were aiming was the last part. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا, and purify you with a thorough purification. So, وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ, tahirakum is a verb, and he purify you, right? And purify you. Tathira is same from the word tahir, right? But now this is tathira is now a direct object, right? It is what not direct object, but what we said perfect, right? What maf'ul mutlaq, yeah. It is maf'ul mutlaq. It is, you can see. Here it is. It's maf'ul mutlaq, right? So it's the absolute object. Here you can see, so tathira, that means Allah is going to purify them, a complete purification. No, totally. You can see Allah wishes to purify them, tathira, complete purification. And of course, if you look at translation of this with other, there'll be slight difference because depending on the creed, right? So let us look at it. Now I will momentarily just let me go and see that if we can look at what other translators have said. Okay, so let us look at this thing. I will try to open Tanzil and let's see how others have translated. Okay, so we get an idea. Tanzil.net. I'm going to change. So we look at ayat number 33. Okay. Let me just can you see this? Okay, the surah number 33. Can you see the Tanzil? Can you see the Tanzil?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So let us look at verse number 33 and see how others have translated, get an idea. Because it's, so we are trying to see this thing. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ يُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا, right? So let us start with, first of all, this is Quran, this, and then we go to translation, okay? And then we start looking at translation. So we start with, for example, English. Here is English translation. The first one here is Ahmad Ali, right? So what does it say? Or inmates of the house, and to clean and bring out the best in you, right? So here he said, bring out the best in you. This is how it's translated, right? That is what Ahmad Ali. If you look at other translator, Ahmad Raza Khan, what does he say? That all people of the household, by cleaning you, make you utterly pure, right? So this is better, utterly pure. That means complete purification. The Holy Prophet's household, right? Here it says. So you can see this near to Shia understanding. You go to Arbari, right? Arbari says what? He says, people of the house, God only desires to put away from abomination and to clean you. That's all. He just say, he doesn't, you can see here. He says, and to clean you, that's all. He doesn't, he thinks that this tathira is just superficial. It's just like that as a part of language, speech, but no, it has a function. The function is that Allah wants to purify you, a complete purification, total purification, everything. That means they are masoom to total, right? So you can see, even Arbari, although he's not a Shia or a Sunni, and was praised for his translation, but when he comes to it, he just says, and to clean you, that's all. It doesn't say to clean you how. Thira, it doesn't even translate the thira, you can see. You go to Arbari, you go to, for example, Asad, right? Asad is a Jew who became Muslim and started. See what it says. And all you members of the Prophet's household, and to purify you utmost purity. So at least you can say yes, to purify you utmost purity. So he is trying to put that emphasis. Tathira, you can see tathira. So he has put that emphasis, right? Then we go, for example, now the Riyabadi, right? The Riyabadi was, I think, Bohra who translated this thing. He says, Allah only desired to take away uncleanness from you, people of the household, and to purify you with a thorough purification. Yes. So you can see, to purify you, the thorough purification, you can see. So this is the thira, a thorough purification, which is near to what we believe, right? And then if you go to Holy Karai, right? If you look at Karai, see what he says. He says that with a thorough purification, you can see, it purify you with a thorough purification. So the function of thira is that, first of all, of course, as it is accusative, as you can see, but it is that Allah would like to purify you with a thorough purification. So it is important. It's an important verse. We should not, for example, overlook the way Arbari has done. Now, Allah wants to purify the household, Bayt, but with a thorough purification. That means in totality, whether it is physical purification, whether it is ismat, masoom, in their childhood, in all that ages, right? A masoom is a masoom. You would not find them making any kind of mistake, or not even tarke awla. Tarke awla is something which was not befitting. For example, when Nabi Adam was told not to go near this tree, and he went, so it was not a sin, but it was a tarke awla. Tarke awla, that means something which, being a prophet of God, it did not befit him to even do something he was told not to do it. But this Ahlul Bayt was such purified that they were totally thorough purification. So do you see the function of that? That's what we want. And then we go, for example, now to the next verse, right? So if you go to the next verse, which is 56, right? Which also is used in majlises. So if you go to 56, and again see how people are translated. So first of all, you go to Arabic. Right. Here is the Arabic verse, right? Allah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman, right? Yeah, no. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, right? So we want to see this taslima. What is the function of taslima? What role it plays, right? Again, if you look at different, see what, first of all, about Qoli Karai, what he says. He says that and peace, and invoke peace upon him, sallimu, in a worthy manner, taslima in a worthy manner, right? But if you look at different translations, right, we go back all the way again. For example, we start with Ahmad Ali, right? He says, salute him in a worthy greeting. So he's near, right? Ahmad Ali is near to what Kuli Karai says, right? If you look at again Ahmad Raza Khan, right? He says what? That an everlasting peace and abundant salutation upon him. So, and send blessings and abundant salutations upon him. You can see abundant salutations. So this is also not bad. Now you can see. And then let's see what Al-Bari says. Does this time also Al-Bari? So he just says what? And, O believers, do you also bless him and pray in peace? You can just say pray in peace. He doesn't say taslima, what is the role, right? Yes, Sister Saima?
Yes, so when we say this is an absolute object, does it also mean in terms of literal sense? So the purification verse, the ayat here, the concept of tahara is absolute tahara, like ismat as well, because even verbally, like even linguistically, it's an absolute object. That's why.
Yeah, this is whether physical taharat or najasat is there or not. There is a different kind of discussion, but I think here what is meant is purification means all kind of sins, right? It is a spiritual purification, which is most understood. Some people also take it as also physical purification. That means the thing that they would not have najasat. But that is something which is under discussion now. I've not seen that all scholars have unanimous discussion about that. So it's better for us to do it aside. It's a discussion of creed, and it's a different thing. You know? But just now we are trying to use the Arabic word. What is the function of the word tahira? Tathira. The function of tathira is complete purification, total purification, utter purification. Okay.
And so for like peace, like yusallu alayna, what's it called? The salam.
Taslima, yeah. Here taslima would be, of course, I would say to just pray for them, as everybody says, not. But if you look at others, what you said, for example, as we saw just now, Ahmad Khan, right? So have a everlasting, abundant salutations upon him. But we said no, send them salam, which is worthy of them, the way they should be saluted. And that is why, for example, if you look at Sahifa Zadiyah, whereby there's a salawat, right? In dua number 47, which is the longest dua in Sahifa Zadiyah, there's a salawat, which is a long salawat. So that is the kind of salawat which Prophet deserves. That Prophet be greeted from the longest of salawat, everlasting salawat, right? Unlimited salawat. You'll find this appears in du'as. That this is the kind of salawat you say that Allah says. When it says taslima, it is a salawat, it is a dua of peace, which is deserving to them, being the most perfect person to walk on this earth. So that is what is meant. But I wanted you to see the difference, that these words, they are not only accusative, but they play a function. There is a function which they play. Okay.
So what maful is that, taslima?
This will be mutlaq.
Okay.
Both taslima and also tathira. Okay. So we go back to our slides. Okay. So this is it. You can see total purification in this case, and greeting with a deserving manner, in a deserving manner. Of course, a lot can be discussed, but just briefly. Here is a thing that try to highlight the maf'ul, which are accusative case, and provide the reason of them becoming accusative. Right? So dakhal al-madinata, most of you got described. Dakhal al-madinata, he entered the city. Dakhal al-madina, so dakhal, that means, and he entered madinata. So this madinata is maf'ul. Alahina ghaflatin min al-ahliya, right? This is Musa, he entered the city. وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ, you can say insana, ضُرٌّ دَعَا رَبَّهُ. Many of you missed this. دَعَا رَبَّهُ. He called his Lord. So دَعَا رَبَّهُ. Da'a means to call upon his Lord. Da'a Rabbahu, you can see, right? Tanzilan, of course, is also accusative. ممن خلق no, this Quran is tanzil, it means it will come down. تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات. So arda is, of course, accusative. والسماوات because of wow conjugation. And samawat, as I told you, that no, this is how it is done, is accusative and or genitive. Samawat or samawat al-ula. And then amanna amma man amana wa amila salihan. So amila salihan, you can see. This is object. Falahu ajran jazaan husna. So even jazaan also is what accusative, jazaan husna. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله. Many of you يرجو الله. No, that means they have hoping in Allah. واليوم and the day of Akhir, يوم الآخر. So يوم الآخرة, that means and the day of Akhir. So because Allah is يرجو الله, which is accusative, واليوم and what follows after the conjugation also will have the same. So if this is accusative, this also will be accusative. واليوم. آخرة, of course, is the adjective of اليوم. No? It means hereafter. وذكر الله كثيرا. And then he believe what? And the one who remembers Allah كثيرا. So this is ذكر الله, this life object. كثيرا, of course, is how, right? As we are going to do just now, how he's going to discuss. So you can see this will be, this is objective on account of how he's going to remember. Remember Allah a lot. So this is how we are going to do the next slide about how it becomes accusative. But what we know just now is direct, for example. The Arab, this is direct object, right? Dakhala Madinat is direct object. Khalaq al-Arda is direct object, right? Amila Salihan, direct object, right? Then Yarjullah, he has hope in Allah. No. Wal Yawma is organ of education. Dhakarallah is direct object. You see, so this is what we wanted, that you try to identify, which many of you are going to do it. Again, those who don't do homework, I will still encourage them to make a point to do the homework. It really helps you because you think that you know, but when you sit to answer, you realize that no, what actually needs to be done. Any question as far as homework is concerned? We go to the next slide. Okay, so this is, we were supposed to do the last week, but we could not do because of time. So let us try to do it now. And now. Just change the font. Okay. So the different functions of the particle ma. Remember earlier when we were doing ma, many people had discussion that is ma always just what? No, ma has different meanings and functions. So I thought that since we discussed about ma earlier when we were doing interrogative, at that time I just said ma means no what, right? Or it's a question of what. But no, it also has other functions. As we said in reciting Quran, we often come across the word ma. Now, as it occurs over 2,000 times. You can imagine this particle ma occurs more than 2,000 times, right? So you see, it's interesting that it comes so often, and it is that we should know that what it means. So we came across it earlier when discussing the interrogative pronoun. However, it has 4 different meanings or grammatical functions. No? So 4 different meanings and grammatical functions. Let us look at them. Negative particle, that means neither is, well, for example, ma aghna anhu maluhu ma kasab. This is Surah Allah. Ma aghna anhu maluhu kasab. Neither his wealth made him self-sufficient, made him self-sufficient, nor what he had earned. This is Abu Lahab. No? Ma aghna anhu maluhu ma kasab. Neither his wealth made him self-sufficient. Aghna, that means to be needless. No, wealth did not make him avail his needness, nor what he earned, right? So this is Allah is trying to condemn him. that he thought that, no, I have all this wealth and I have all this influence, so I can do things the way I want. But no, Allah says, Ma aghna anhu malu wa ma kasab. Neither his wealth made him self-sufficient, nor what he earned. So here ma is negative. Ma aghna. It did not avail him. It did not make him insufficient. Ma, you can see. If ma is followed by at a relatively short distance by illa, right? That is, except the combined sense of the ma and illa is only. So keep this in mind, that when ma is followed at a relatively short distance, that means soon after a few words you can find there is illa, ma, and illa combined in the same sentence, then the combined effect of this ma and illa is only. So wama ana illa nadhir mubin, wama ana illa nadhir mubin, and I am not only a manifest error. So wama ana, I'm not, except a manifest error. So wama ana, this literal meaning. Wama ana, and I'm not, illa, except nadhir mubin, a manifest warner. But it only means that I'm only a manifest warner. So do you see? So when ma and illa, they are within a sentence and they are separated by only few words, then it means only. So that's the function, right? Ma can also mean what? La abudu ma ta'budun, right? In Surah Kafirun, Prophet is told, tell them, Kul ya ayyul kafirun, la abudu ma ta'budun, wala antum abidun ma abud, wala ana abidun ma abud, wala antum abidun ma abud. So Kul ya ayyul kafirun, la abudu ma ta'budun, la abudu ma ta'budun. Oh, disbelievers, I do not worship what you worship. So here it is what? That which you worship. You see? La abudu ma ta'budun. You can see. And here Allah used the word ma ta'budun, because although we worship Allah, which is a being, but they worship idols. And that's why Allah says ma ta'budun, that which you worship. It could be a living being or even an idol. Right? La abudu ma ta'budun. So here ma is what, right? Or sometimes ma comes as a question particle, meaning what? Now here now you're asking. This is actually, when we are trying to say highlight ma in interrogative, this is the third function. This is the function we're talking about. What? For example, wama adraka mal hutama. Now wama adraka mal hutama. And what will show you what is al hutama? So wama adraka comes often in the Quran. What will make you realize it? Now, for example, إذا إنا أنزلناه في القدر وما أدراك ما في القدر. We have revealed it on the night of Qadr. But what will make you realize what Qadr is? وما أدراك ما Qadr is. So you can see that وما أدراك here comes as just trying to show that what would you realize that how important that day is. So here ma is a questioning. وما أدراك ما الهتما. What will make you show what is al-hutama? So here ma is a question. And that was actually when we were doing interrogative earlier, 2-3 lessons ago, at that time we asked you to highlight ma. That's what we wanted, just a question. And then finally, when it follows words like inna, idha, ba'da, qabla, in such a case, it has no meaning. It is just there, for example. So here it is, we give an example, number of things. Says, illa min ba'di ma jat bayina. Illa min ba'di ma jat, except after the proof came together. Illa min ba'di jat bayina. So you can see illa min ba'di ma jat bayina. Except after ja'athum, came to them al-bayina, proof. So you can see the word here ma, which is there here, right? It has no function. It is just there, but it has no function, you can see. Again here it says, amma al-insana idha mubtalahu rabbuhu. As for a human being, as for a man, if his Lord tests him. So you can see, if his Lord tests him, you can see again here ma, amma al-insana idha mubtalahu. So this ma, mubtalahu, you can see it has no function. It's just word there, it's just there, you can see. Maybe it's just a kind of language, right? فإنما هي زجرة واحدة. Yet it will be إنما هي زجرة واحدة. I don't know how this has come here. So it will be a shout. إنما هي زجرة واحدة. Yeah, إنما here, this, sorry, yeah, this ma is we are talking about. No? So إنما هي زجرة. So this is again coming after inna or idha or ba'da qabla. this has no meaning. Yes, Sister Saima?
So I just want to know for number 3, here we're calling it a particle, right? The ma, but in the,
Yes.
I think in the other lesson, I think it was 25 or something, we're calling it a pronoun. Is there a reason why that was a pronoun and this is in this
Yeah,
situation?
because at that time when you're doing this interrogative, they said all as pronoun. It's just called as a pronoun, right? But it is, in this case, of course, because we are talking ma as a general, we use the word as a particle. But in some cases, if it plays the role of asking question, it's a pronoun. You know? So at that time, we were discussing about interrogative pronouns, right? So one of them was ma. But here we are talking about the particle ma, which is different kind of function. So you can even remove the word particle, just say the function of ma.
Yeah.
Okay. But good observation, this slide. Yes. We still have some minutes. Let's try to finish this last slide. And because I want to complete this lesson which we have. So keep this in mind that ma has a number of functions. Please try to understand. Yes, Sister Samina?
So I have a question. Does that mean there are some words in the Quran which is got no function?
No, you see, there are some words in the Quran, the language of Arabic is so beautiful that in some cases you find, for example, in this case, the ma is there, which has no meaning, but it has a function, definitely, but it has no meaning in the sense that if you try to translate it into a language, then you would not try, you won't need to translate that particular word. Even if you ignore that word, you can still get the translation. But it has a function, definitely. In the language, it brings about a function. You can see, for example, here it is, look at this, subhanAllah. It says, no, example, illa min ba'di ja'atun bayyina. Illa min ba'di ma ja'atun bayyina. So you can see that it has a function. If you try to recite it or listen to the correct reciter, you'll find it that it is a function. Definitely, it is a function to bring that kind of sounding. But when you try to translate it, it would not be required because it has no meaning. Okay. So now we come to the remaining accusation on nouns in our lesson. This lesson which we are doing, is it lesson 23 or 22? Let's complete this lesson. Okay, so 79. Yeah, so we were getting, this is lesson number. Yeah. So this is lesson 22. Let's complete it. So in the lesson 22, we had still 3 more cases where there is what accusative on nouns: hal, tamiz, and kana. Right. So let's discuss them. Hal means condition or circumstances. This is the hal. This is a condition. We also say, for example, in Urdu, iski hal ye hal hai. No. So hal is something which is condition. So in this hal is an Arabic grammatical term that answers the question how or in what way regarding the subject and the object. So we can find this in this, for example, 511 is 2 goals, 391, 254. So these are all the examples we have there. We'll just take 1 or 2 examples because I want to complete this slide today only and complete because we are complete also a course, right? So let's try to complete. So let us look at this thing, 3191, right? 3191. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. Right? So you can see how in condition what circumstances. So الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا. So you can see this قياما وقعودا is a condition. In what state, in what condition they remember Allah. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا. Those from Allah standing, sitting. No, Allah junubihim, and also lying on their side. But because of Allah becomes junubihim. You can see, qiyam wa qu'udan, this is accusative on account of the hal. In what condition are they remembered? So other examples, we have given you a number of examples, all these, try to look at these verses. Please, it's very important, even if we don't cover all these examples, I request you to look at them because I really take pains in trying to find all these, I'm not a hafiz of Quran, as I told you. So for me to find all these examples, I put a lot of time in trying to find examples. And I really hope that you will look at all those verses, even if you don't cover in the class because of time. I really request you to look at them and try to understand what's been discussed. So one is hal, right? That means condition or circumstance. The second is tamiz, specification. Mayyiz to specify. Tamiz, right, is to specify. Resembles the hal, but it is used to clarify or explain the verb. It answers the verb to such questions as in what way, in what, with regard to what, right? In what regard? Or if you ask this question, then whatever you answer get, that is a noun which will have what an accusative, which is known as tamiz, right? So let us look at 1737 to get an idea what we are discussing, right? 1737. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تمشي في الأرض مرحا إنك لن تخرق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال طولا. Subhanallah. Do not walk exultantly on the earth, right? So this is specification. For example, it answers the question in what way. So they were walking how? They were walking, for example, it says, if you say that these people, how are they walking? They were walking, for example, exultantly. That means with pride, right? وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. So Mrs. Marhan is a tamiz, is a specification. It describes a question, for example, in what way, how did they, for example, walk? In what regard, right? So if we say in what way did they walk? They walk, for example, with exultation, with pride, right? وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّكَ لَن تَبْلِغَ الْجِبَالَ طُولًا. Nor reach the mountains in height, right? Indeed, you will neither pierce the earth nor reach the mountains in height. Allah is telling us, for example, people who are proud, who are arrogant, when they walk on the earth, they walk, for example, with arrogance. Allah says, إِنَّكَ لَن تَخْرِقَ الْأَرْضَ. You will neither pierce the earth nor reach the mountain in height. Even, for example, if you are walking on the earth as if you are, you are pride, as if you are flying, you will not be able to reach the mountain, nor are you going to break the earth, right? You can see how Allah is saying that try to be humble when you walk, right? Humility is so important. So it's a very good example of tamiz. You can see that how it explains in what kind of thing. Let us look at 1839. Another verse which is not far, Surah Kahf, ayat number 39. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولولا إذ دخلت الجنة قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترنا أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا, right? If you see that I have lesser wealth than you and fewer children. So you can see مالا وولدا. Here it is إن ترنا أنا أقل منك. So this is these two brothers, right? It's a very good story. You can read in this about these stories that these two brothers who are trying to look at what they have. So he says that وَلَوْلَا إِذْ دَخَلْتَ جَنَّتَكَ. Why did you not say when you entered your garden, MashaAllah, this is Allah has will, for example. What is it? La quwwata illa billah. There is no strength except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In tarina ana akalla minka malan. If you see that I have lesser wealth than you and fewer children, right? So again, it is just trying to specify that in what way I'm better. If I'm trying to say that, I am, for example, in what way I'm lesser than you. I'm lesser than you because I've got few children and what and maybe and even less wealth. So yes, I have less children, less wealth, but that doesn't make me inferior. So it's a good way how they're discussing, but this is known as tamiz, that it's trying to specify in what way is somebody different than other. So this brother is trying to say, yes, I'm different than you, but in wealth and in what in children. That's how different, but that doesn't make me inferior. And there are also other examples we've given you, as I told you, please do look at these examples which we have given you. Right? One of the popular is this 110 If you go 110 which is Surah Al-Nasr, we know all of us Surah Iza Jaa Nasrullahi. So if you look at that, that's a good example of tamiz. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. When the help and victory comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do you see? You see people entering the religion of Allah, in huge numbers. Example, they enter, أفواجا, in thrones, in big groups. Afwaj is what plural of fauj. Fauj, as you know, is like an army, right? Fauj. So afwaja. When the help and victory comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people will start entering religion in big numbers. Afwaja. So the question is, how do they enter? In what? In what way? They enter in big numbers. You can see afwaja. This is tamiz. This is what is specification. So this is the best example. And then finally, it is kana. Kana is similar to, for example, inna, anna, la'alla, which we have done earlier. So the predicate or the particle kana is an accusative case. What is a predicate? Predicate gives information about the first part of a sentence. In Arabic, it is referred as khabar, which means information, right? So let us look at this example. Kana. 2213, if you look Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 213, right? So right in the beginning, we look at ayat number 213 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Because of kana, it has become what? It has become accusative. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وكان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله نبينا مبشرين ومنذرين. And mankind were a single community. كان الناس أمة واحدة. So this أمة واحدة is the predicate. Of course, nas is the noun of kana, but no, the khabar. Kana nas and mankind were khabar, that means it gives information. Mankind were, how were the mankind? They were one community. Kana nasu ummatan wahidatan. People were just one community. فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ نَبِيِّينَ. Then Allah sent the prophets as bearers of good news. So you can see, ummatan wahidatan is predicate. It is what accusative on account of, it is the predicate of kana. Of course, all these things you will not go easily, but as you look at different kind of examples, try to ponder over things, then you will get it. So the same thing, surah which we did earlier, although this Surah Al-Nasr, we go look at that because it's again referred here. You can see 110.3, right? So if you go to the surah again, Surah Al-Nasr, right? There's the example of kana, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. إنه كان توابا. He is indeed all clement, all accepting tawbah, right? إنه كان توابا. So this is إنه كان توابا. Tawaba is the predicate, is the khabar of kana, and because it's khabar of kana, it became what accusative. So these are some of the examples which are also there in our what lesson, this particular. Of course, all these things, it's not easy for you to remember them. It's only through exercises, through reading, as you come across these things and try to just identify these accusative nouns on account of either hal or tamiz or predicate of kana. Inshallah, if you look at all these examples they've given you, hopefully you'll get some idea. Any questions you have before? I will send you simple homework, a very quick. I would request you to just get it done soon, so that I can mark them and we complete this particular level. Again, as we said that now the next level is level 5, which will be on Tuesday, because there were some people who could not make on Wednesday. So if some of you, all of you can participate, will be good. As you know that we would like to have at least 10 participants, 10 registration before we can start the class. That is 1st of November, inshallah. Any questions, any clarifications?
Can I say something here about the class?
Sorry?
Can I say something about the class?
Yeah,
Okay, what if
we
you
have
can't
said, right? Last time we sent you, here is the information about class.
Is it possible if I can't be in the class on Tuesday, you can send me the lessons and the video, I then continue at home with you and send you the homework?
Yeah, you can send the homework inshallah, if this is posted tomorrow. So tomorrow, inshallah, is Thursday.
Next class,
You can-
the next class I'm talking about.
The next class, the new level, right?
Yeah, but I won't be able to do it on Tuesday.
You want to do it on Tuesday?
Yeah, because we have now Jubalaka classes.
Oh, we already taken. No, now we can't change it. No, we had already taken what we
Can
discussed
you
this thing.
send me can you send me the work and everything and the video and everything, and I can study then?
Hey, it's still there on our website, right? You go to our website, you just go to 647.
Yeah.
If you go to our website, Ali 647, the slides will be there. The the recording will be there. So feel free, and whenever you have time, if you can join, it'll be good, no?
Yeah, and I'll tell Salim to send you.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
we had earlier through WhatsApp, we had taken a survey. We had asked, right? That
No,
is
I
it
told
okay for
Salim
people
tell
to
you.
Tuesday?
I
I
told
think I
Salim,
also wrote to Salim, and he also said fine. No?
I think
Yeah,
I
I
told
think
him.
you can check with him.
must
I
have
did check
gotten-
with everybody, because earlier we didn't change to Tuesday because this was the class that already started. So in all fairness, we announced Wednesday, we did Wednesday, but now we asked them, we are making it Tuesday.
Okay, don't worry.
Inshallah, after this level again, if the people say different day, we'll try to change that.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'll try to read the recording of that.